Hi, it's Jeff Ondash, and welcome to Out and About. And this is one of my favorite places in the entire Mahoning Valley. It's the Ernie Hall Aviation Museum. And as you can see, there's just, you don't know what to look at first, from model planes to actual planes, from the wars to antique cars to, it's just amazing. It's endless what they have here. And this is the guy that created all this. This is Bill Griffin. This is an unbelievable museum. And you just started it from the idea that Ernie Hall was this pioneer in aviation that really not a lot of people in Mahoning Valley knew about.
That's correct. Ernie was one of the first few guys to get his pilot's license, and he was from right here in Howland.
And just so you could tell the audience exactly who Ernie Hall was, tell us about some of the people he hung with back then.
Well, Ernie Hall definitely hung out with the Wright brothers a lot. I have a lot of letters corresponding between the three of them, I'm sorry. And he actually bought serial number 2 of the Wright flying boat. Back in the day, when he first started flying, there was no runways, so they used lakes. So after they came up with the first Wright flyer, they immediately built a flying boat so they could be on a lake, because that was the best answer to, if you want to learn how to fly, you got to fly on a lake. No matter which direction the wind's blowing, you can put your airplane into the wind. So he owned serial number 2.
Wow. And knew a guy who owned a car manufacturing plant too, didn't he?
Yeah, he knew Henry Ford, and he hung out with the Packards here locally, Edison. So he was back with all of the all the big shots. The reason why we're here is he actually donated that property to the Howland school systems right before he died. And they were supposed to build their new high school there, but they didn't. They sold off half the property and built a housing development, and the other half is the Howland Park. And this is the field of one of Ernie's favorite students. His name was Ray Slose. And Ray Slose's family had a huge dairy farm here. And so in 1946, he wanted to get his pilot's license. He was 40 years old at the time. So Ernie took him under his wing and got him his pilot's license. And he came over here and built this field in 1946. And Mr. Slose is the guy who gave me my first airplane ride.
Wow. And then from that, the rest is history. You kind of wanted to keep the memory of Mr. Hall going, and then the idea of building this museum, the Ernie Hall Aviation Museum, came to you, and then it's unbelievable what you've amassed. I mean, there are things here from all over the world.
Yes, there are. There's an amazing amount of things here. We like to say that we have everything from the Wright Flyer to the Starship Enterprise in here. And if you look around, you'll see that there is everything from the Wright Flyer to the Starship Enterprise. We have fabric from the not from the Wright brothers, but from the Red Baron's airplane that he got shot down in, which is pretty cool.
Wow. And people could actually come in here. This is a museum that's open to the public. And how, if someone wanted to come out there and see this, how can they do that?
Well, we're open every weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday from noon till 3 and Saturday from 10 to 3 and Sunday noon to 3. And we are also open by appointment. We always are getting calls for groups of Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, whatever, and we come and open it up. It's run by a bunch of guys who are all volunteers. So it's $5 to get in, and I think it's well worth it. There's a lot to learn here.
Yes, there is. The history here is absolutely stunning. Now, because this is a museum that has to be paid, you've got light bills and everything else, you put on different functions throughout the year. And one of the things that you do is coming up on Sunday, August 6th this year, and it's Wings and Wheels. And this is what, your 5th annual Wings? It's amazing. It's 5 years already.
I can't believe that 5 years have flown by, but it is the 5th annual. Last year, we had over 7,000 people, 780 classic hot rod exotic cars, 150 airplanes. We had World War II fighter planes here. We had World War II trainers here. This year, it's all about biplanes. We expect to have between 25 and 35 biplanes, along with some World War II fighter planes also, and some unique flybys. We just have to have good weather. We've had good weather for 4 years in a row. If we can do it one more year, Jeff, that's what we need, one more year.
And this starts at 8 o'clock, and there's a reason for it. The cars start coming in, 780 cars. This makes it one of the largest car shows out here. In fact, on Armstrong, on our stations, we do a really, really great show called The Street Scene, and they're actually going to be out here filming this year at Wings and Wheels, so you're going to be able to see all of the cars coming through here. Now, 780 cars. There's not another car show in this area that brings this many cars in here.
It's amazing. They start coming at about 7:30, and they just continue to keep flowing in here all day long. And It's absolutely amazing. Cars come from everywhere. People are calling me from Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, guys that are bringing some really unique cars to this place. I mean, cars that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's worth just coming to see that. But then when you get to see the airplanes taking off and landing, and you get to go up and touch them and see them, you're only a few feet away from the runway. It's just something that you don't get to see every day.
No, it's a very unique show. Have you ever researched, does anybody else do anything like this across the country?
I don't know, but I do know that guys who have gone to many, many air shows and car shows tell me that this is the best one, hands down. So I'm not bragging, but it is a pretty good show as long as we have nice weather.
And it is a really unique thing. The museum's open that day. You're going to be able to come here, take in the Ernie Hall Aviation Museum. Plus, like you said, there's probably going to be over 800 cars, vintage cars, classic cars, rods. Everything you'd want to see will be here in terms of cars. But then the planes going virtually almost every couple minutes, they're coming in, landing, taking off, and these planes come from all over the country too.
All over the place, yes. We have them coming from, since you can get here a lot faster in an airplane, they're coming from Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Virginia. So they come from all over the place.
And this is something you could see right here in Mahoning Valley that literally you cannot see anywhere else in the entire United States. Plus, there's great food. You have some really, really good food here. I know Vern's going to be back. And
Meatball wagon.
the Meatball's Gone Crazy wagon, and that's some really, really good stuff there. Plus, you could have some music. There's music going on all day. There's activities all day long. You have vendors here selling some wares. It's just a really great day for the entire family.
It's a great day. And we were very surprised that we do our show on Sunday because we believe that there's less competition than on a Saturday. People have lots of things going on Saturday. So Sunday is usually, you go to church and there's nothing else to do. So you go to church and you come here, or you could skip church because I made a deal that you're allowed to skip this one day. Yeah. So you come out here and we have a beer tent. And last year we sold so much beer on a Sunday. It was unbelievable. But the weather was perfect for it. It was sunny and hot. And so there is beer here, all kinds of food that you can think of. And DJ, and there's actually a couple of bands that are going to be playing too. So it's fun time for all.
Yeah, don't come out here planning to spend just about 20 minutes or a half hour, an hour. You're going to be here for a while because just watching the planes take off and come in and land it's a really unique experience because it's not something you could see every day. Even here, on average, how many planes come in and take off in a week?
Yeah, maybe 4 or 5. So, it's 150 airplanes last year took off and landed here during the day. So,
on that day.
During the show. Yep.
This is something you're definitely going to want to see. It's Wings and Wheels. It's Sunday, August 6th. It's going to be from 8 a.m. to 6, and I can't stress enough, get here early. Bring some lawn chairs. You're going to have a wonderful time. You're going to be able to see the museum, the Ernie Hall Aviation Museum, and then you're going to go out, look at some great cars, see some great airplanes.
Also, Jeff, not to interrupt you, but I interrupted you.
That's okay. You can interrupt me.
We are pushing motorcycles this year, too. We really like to have the guys with the motorcycles come out this year, too. We had probably 50 or 60 last year. We'd like to double that at least. It's a great destination if you're in a motorcycle club or something. It's a great destination for a Sunday cruise. Get out here. Also, we get really long lines. There's lots of parking. People always question me, where's the parking? Across the street, all the businesses have allowed us to use their parking lots and their fields, and we park and we shuttle people over in golf carts. But you've got to get here early because the lines get long. Or you can go to Andrew's Shopping Center in Howland Corners, and buy your tickets in advance. And we have a special line. If you have a ticket, you just zoom right in.
Get right in and park real close then.
Yep.
Well, I can't stress enough and thank you for what you've done for Mr. Hall, because that's a part of history that shouldn't be forgotten here. And there's been a lot of great people coming through, and he is certainly in the top 10 of people in the past. I mean, when you're hanging with Henry Ford and doing the things that he did at the birth, think of that. The birth of aviation has history right here in Warren, Ohio.
Ernie Hall has an airplane in the Smithsonian Institute, in the Air Force Museum, in the Curtis Museum. That's another guy he hung out with, was Glenn Curtis. So he did things and was one of the first. He was the longest active flight instructor and the longest active pilot. First one to be awarded that, since he was one of the first 3 people to get a pilot's license. So He was quite a guy. And one thing I forgot to tell you is that the reason why this museum isn't where his place exactly was is his building, they tore down piece by piece and moved it to the Trumbull County Fairgrounds. And then the tornado of 1984 came through right before they were ready to finish it, and it wiped it out. They burnt it, and that was the end of that idea. So that's where I really started thinking, geez, I got to do something. So we built this building out of materials that are modern day, but it's in the same style and size that his hangar.
If you saw a picture of what his looked like, this is pretty much the same type built.
Thank goodness for Tom Perenzino and Bernard Daniels Lumber Company.
Yeah. He chipped in quite a bit. All right, so that's going to do it. Sunday, August 6th, Wings and Wheels. You're going to want to get out here. Bring the family, bring your friends. Get here early, like Bill said. You can't stress it enough. And you're really going to be helping out a great institution. This is a nonprofit organization here. And to keep this going, they have to do things like Wings and Wheels to raise money. So you coming in here and helping out keeps this place going and keeps the history of Ernie Hall and all he had to offer for us alive. That's going to do it. Bill Griffin, thank you very much. And we will see you on Sunday, August 6th from 8 to 6. And it's going to be a day. If you haven't been here in the past, it's going to be a day you're always going to remember. You'll enjoy it. See you soon. Thanks for watching Out and About, and we'll see you again real soon.